And we still have more weather to talk about. Of course, there's a very busy time coming up for travel. It's almost always affected by weather in some way, shape, or form, which is Thanksgiving, and we're going to have clearing conditions. But one thing I would watch for is the cold weather, and we'll talk about that for a second. Just for the lay of the land here, I think some things have happened in the background that are really important, worth mentioning right off the top. As this system is winding down and the amount of rain that we're going to get from here on out is barely going to change the numbers at all, we have significantly improved our situation for the entire wet season for us. Our rainy season goes from October 1st of one year to September 30th of the following year. And if you can, quote unquote, get on the board, in other words, put up some rain in the bucket numbers that are impressive early, it just takes the stress and the pressure off the rest of the season to perform or overperform to really make up for long stretches of dry weather. When you go back to early October, we were not in a good spot. We were breaking records nearly every day with triple digits, but now we've hit a really great zone where the temperatures have come down. The ground is now saturated. Very soon, the natural grasses are going to start to pop up, which is always helpful. And then we're looking at numbers that are really impressive. From 12 to 22 inches for the coastal mountains, Santa Rosa, almost 15 inches of rain so far. It's not even December. And then we're looking at Shasta, which has come up almost 10 feet for the lake itself. And then below the dam, you know, it's going to come up with more than 15 inches of rain so far for the season. Oroville's been doing well. And then you start to see the breakup in rainfall totals or precip totals. It really starts to go down once you get farther south and lower in elevation. But I would say even places like downtown Sacramento, you know, compared to the other spots, almost 4 inches of rain is nowhere compared to anywhere nearby. However, that's nearly 20% of what Sacramento gets in our rainy season. So to get that done early really is helpful. But once you get farther south, there is literally more work to be done just to get to average, let alone to be above. Now, this is a precipitation percent of average so far for this season. So any storm is going to change the numbers fairly dramatically. But when you're looking at the blue and the purple here, that's 2 to 3 times more than average for this time of year. So Redding, Chico, clearly the atmospheric river nailed those locations first. It was on the bubble for Sacramento, but lately we've been seeing most of the precipitation for Modesto, Fresno, and areas to the south. So in other words, the places that needed that atmospheric river are actually getting it today and got some of it last night. Your traditional storm comes in from the north, it sweeps through, rain, wind, snow, and then it's out of here. These atmospheric river systems are different. Because you have the low that's sitting there, it's able to pull in more moisture, and if it doesn't move, it can produce rain and snow for days on end. The warmer ones are nicknamed the Pineapple Express. That's when you see the higher snow levels, but it's literally a river of moisture. Now, when you think of a river, you're thinking of the Mississippi River, the Amazon River. You just have to know that the amount of water vapor, so when water is floating around as a gas versus something that you can drink, there still is water content. And an atmospheric river can carry anywhere from 7.5 to 15 times the flow of the Mississippi River. It's just in the air. To get it to precipitate out, you need lift, you need a bunch of other things to happen. But once it happens, this is really one of the lifelines for the West Coast to getting the precip that we really need to happen, and then capture, and then use through the long, hot summer. Because our rainy season is usually about 6 months. And if you don't get these atmospheric rivers, you're in trouble in a hurry. The good news, though, if you've got pre-Thanksgiving travel and you just want things to dry out just for a little bit, it's great to get on the board, but hey, we've got Thanksgiving, the day after, travel after. Things really do quiet down, and this is the last of these moments. So what do we got on board for today? On this Tuesday, we still have some lingering snow in the Sierra, but the valley is really in the clearing stages. We're going to have some early scattered light showers. It's not going to be for that much, maybe 1/100 of an inch, really not that much at all. And then for the Sierra, we're going to get that continued light snow. It's not going to amount to barely anything, maybe an inch or two at best. So even for both those categories, the amount is small, but we're still dealing with wet roads. We're still dealing with cleanup. The valley spots are clearing very quickly. Literally by this afternoon, I wouldn't worry about anything in the valley spots. But for the Sierra, it's cold. We've got precip pushing through, and you're looking at additional snow throughout the course of the day. This is what clearing looks like. In the morning, you'll have a few random showers. Then you'll see some clouds. Then you'll see some peaks of sunshine. The sun goes down. And then we're going to be looking at all clear conditions for all elevations by the time we get to tonight for the valley for sure, and easily overnight for the Sierra and early tomorrow morning. There's what's left of this atmospheric river. It's starting to break up. It's not as narrow. It's not as wet, and it is moving down to the south, which, as I mentioned right off the top, is good for Fresno. It's good for Bakersfield. It's great for those places that really missed out from the strong days of that early atmospheric river. The clearing is going to be uneven. You might see a sprinkle. You might just be waiting for the clouds to break up and clear so you can get some sunshine. And you'll start to see that happen from north to south. It'll just take the majority of the rest of today. Still looking at the roads with the Sierra, we still have to mention that, yes, we are officially in a winter storm warning for snow on the ground, icy conditions, snow-covered roads, lots of plowing. Chain controls in some places, and this is going to be ongoing till about 4 o'clock, essentially right before sunset later on this afternoon. You could see all of the traffic getting very busy here. That is what chain control looks like. They literally stop your vehicle, push you over to the side. They check to make sure trucks, passenger vehicles, you name it, are you equipped to travel through snow-covered roads? Because if you don't have traction, you get stuck. Then it turns into a traffic nightmare. But for all of these well-known passes, 80 and 50, traffic is moving along. It's just slow going, as you would expect with recent snow. Now, this is what's going to happen in the High Sierra. Later on today, it is done. Early tomorrow morning, it's clear for everybody. So now you look at this and you're thinking, okay, well, we're just done with weather then, right? Not necessarily. We're done with precip. We're done with rain. We're done with snow, even though we might get an inch or two. But what's going to happen is that then we're left with the aftermath. For the ski resorts, that's great. Some of these spots are already open. Some of them are looking ahead to their opening dates, pushing the snow around, getting it where they want to be. Pre-Thanksgiving skiing, folks, is going to be some of the best conditions in years, so that's great. However, we still have to move to the next stage. So with the snow and the rain left over today, just prepare for slick roads even after the snow stops. Certainly in the High Sierra, when we start hitting temperatures in the teens, and by Thanksgiving morning in the single digits, that's going to keep a lot of icy conditions around. So let me preview the next weather story. The early morning lows for Wednesday, right around 40 degrees for the valley spots. The early morning lows on Thanksgiving, so this is going from Wednesday to early Thursday, it's going to be in the mid to lower 30s. That means widespread frost in the valley and also patchy but dense fog. But at least we can tell you it'll warm up to the mid 50s on Thanksgiving Day. And then we are clear sailing all the way through the post-Thanksgiving weekend and the week after. The bottom line is this: after many days of rain and snow and impacts for you and ways to watch the weather, we are going to be wrapping this up and just moving into a better, more consistent spot with lots of sunshine for at least the next 9 to 10 days or so.